A few weeks ago, I bought this beautiful Annapolis Wherry, mainly for exercise. And I have some rowing experience, mostly on rowing machines and dinghies, but I'd never actually rowed a sliding seat rowboat before. And immediately, I noticed there was a problem. The oars overlap, and despite the oar locks being adjusted to maximum position, they kept racking my knuckles, and the geometry was very low. As you can see here, I'm banging into my knees, just trying to keep the oar out of the water, and my first experience out on the water was quite miserable. Here I'm looking things over, trying to figure out how this is actually supposed to work. And there's the feathering position for the oar. YouTube to the rescue. I mean, I knew the boat couldn't be set up this way if it was wrong, so clearly I wasn't doing something right.
Welcome to Sculling Academy, where I help people like you who are interested in sculling to realize their potential.
And then there's this guy who clearly looks like he knows what he's doing. And you notice his oars also overlap, maybe even a fair bit more than mine.
What you need to do now is to just move your hands around and get the feeling of what it's like to lift and lower your hands alternately.
So I decided to give it a go, practicing feathering and offsetting the handles.
Fuck this bullshit.
There's another try, and just ramming into the handles there. I've wrapped my knuckles so many times, I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold them a little bit further apart. But the end of my first day was an utterly miserable experience. I literally went down to a hardware store and bought a hacksaw with the full intention of chopping into and just cutting the ends off of the oars. But then after thinking things through a little bit and looking up online to learn that those carbon fiber oars are $1,600, I decided not to cut into them, and instead started coming up with a different idea to fabricate a solution. This here is a plasma cutter cutting some stainless tube that I bought. The reason that those oars are made that way on the rowboats is because in competitive rowing, the sizes and dimensions of everything are very controlled. I then TIG welded a piece of bar stock, which essentially made a clamp. The oars are limited to surface area and length and etc. So by having them intersect like that, professional rowers and racers can maximize their effort, and having them low like that allows for maximum reach. But the end result is that it was just horribly uncomfortable, and I'm not interested in racing anybody. I want to get a good workout and a pleasant row, and the geometry of the oars just was not working for me at all. Then doing a little bit of work with the die grinder to clean things up and to do what's called fish mouthing. And that's how you can weld two pieces of pipe together. Not the greatest welding job. I am self-taught, but it held together. And then I made two. And hopefully you can see where this is going. So yeah, these pieces that I made elevate the oars and also space them out a little bit. And taking it out on the lake now is a much more pleasant experience. Yes, my oars are going in way too deep, but I no longer have to focus on technique. I can just row and enjoy the day.